state's character. Here's Kevin Mackey with this week's Montana Moment, brought to you by Montana Chevy Dealers.
There's just something about draft horses pulling a sleigh through the deep snow in a vast open landscape on a winter morning. In our Montana Moment this week from Wise River, the fine-tuned teamwork between horse and rancher. Kevin Mackey reports.
Joyce and Jill are still in training to become workhorses.
It's pretty rewarding, really, to watch them when they really start learning their job.
Father and son Dennis and Troy Kirkpatrick hitched the youngsters to take us to the family's cattle pastures.
That's a lot of the fun in it, really, is to get those younger horses started.
It's a lively bunch, ready for a morning workout. Michael Kirkpatrick, Dennis's wife, and Troy's mom brings her barrel racing horses for exercise. The Kirkpatricks raise and sell saddle horses.
We enjoy the saddle horses, and we use them a lot in the summertime, too.
Michael runs barrels. Dennis rode the rodeo when he was younger. Troy's a professional bareback rider.
Most of my earliest memories probably were about horses.
No, I talk to them all the time. Everybody thinks I'm crazy, but I gotta warn them if we're gonna have a tough day. You got a horse that's working for you and doing a good job, and that's worth a lot to me.
They want to work for you, you know. They like to work.
Troy has a two-horse team, Lonnie and Roscoe. Dennis and Michael drive four horses, Prince, Fiber, Ruby, and Jim.
They all got their personalities, and you get attached to them.
The family feeds its cattle with two sleighs filled with loose grass hay. They don't put up bales.
If we feed loose hay, it can become quite unique to start with, and then, of course, with working horses, there's not really hardly anybody left anymore in this country that's doing it.
But for the Kirkpatricks, it makes sense to stick with the old ways.
I've fed with the tractor a little bit, and it's pretty mind-numbing sitting in there for very long, and it's just not as much fun.
For one thing, they're a lot cheaper to run than a tractor.
A few years ago, they figured horses saved about $10,000 in fuel bills.
A lot of these ranching operations, there's not a lot of cash flow. So, you know, $10,000 is kind of a big deal. It can be the difference between a red and a black year.
The Kirkpatricks say even in the harshest weather, they always get their work done. These draft horses are conscientious workers, and they are never, ever fickle, even in a blizzard.
They can feel that track from the day before, and they'll stay on it. You'll spend a lot of time shoveling if you got a tractor. It's a good place, but it's pretty wintry. You know, there's a lot of wind, a lot of snow. It's tough in the winter, and it's the best place ever in the summer.
It's about a 2-mile trip to the haystack. Haystacks are scattered across the ranch. Dennis has customized a 1949 M International Harvester tractor with a grapple fork to load the sleds.
It's a great old tractor. It starts when it's really cold. It does all the work we need it to do.
The Kirkpatricks are used to it, but pitching hay is hard work. The horses stop when they're told and move ahead so the hay doesn't get bunched up.
They're just easy. Everything's just kind of easy.
Not so complicated. Kind of simplifies things, which is nice.
And that's not something we think about, I guess, but no, our carbon footprint's probably pretty minimal.
The Kirkpatricks run mostly black and red Angus. In this cold weather, feeding well is essential. The cows will calve in April.
We try to calve out about 400 head every year.
Dennis has worked with draft horses his entire life.
My grandparents were working horses when I was little, and then my dad kept a team when I was young. So I was around them for pretty early on.
We always joke that Dennis was born a century late.
Michael and Dennis met in high school rodeo. When they were seniors, Dennis showed up at her house with a cold.
For a Christmas present, so, you know, what do you do from there? Can't hardly dump him. You might lose the horse.
It's a family deeply rooted in animals. Ranching is and always has been their way of life. Troy just got married to Grace.
We got married in October, and it's awesome. She fits in good around here.
In the steady routine of ranch life, a morning's hard work's done. Time to stretch out the kinks for the Kirkpatrick draft horses of Wise River. Kevin Mackey, NBC, Montana.